Chicago and the Philippines. A comprehensive review of the week's special community events, featuring many exciting personalities, handled by the most professional Chicago Philippine Reports TV staff.
The World Health Organization is now tracking some 20 sublineages of the more contagious coronavirus Delta variant.
What we're looking at is how Delta is changing over time. One of the sublineages that we're looking at is this AY, it's AY.4.2. And it basically means Delta with additional mutations. And that is something that was identified in the UK, and they've shared information with us.
A technical briefing released by the UK Health Security Agency said the sublineage is increasing in frequency and that around the last week of September, 6% of samples have already been identified with the AY.4.2. But it is quick to clarify that figures may not be exact due to issues in sequencing. The AY.4.2 sublineage is said to have 2 spike mutations. But there's a silver lining.
The good news is that even though Delta is dominant, our vaccines remain incredibly effective against preventing severe disease and death. But we want to be in a good position should we need to make a change.
The Philippine Health Department says the sublineage of the Delta variant has yet to be detected in the Philippines. Health spokesperson Maria Rosario Vergara says experts continue to study the sublineage's impact on transmissibility and severity. On Friday, the Health Department recorded 5,823 new cases, with nearly 300 deaths. The positivity rate is below 12% for the third straight day, but it's still quite far off from the WHO's benchmark of 5%. The DOH added ICU bed occupancy in the NCR is now below 50%, the first time since July 27th. A report by independent group Octa shows that Muntinlupa, Makati, and Quezon City are remaining cities whose ICU utilization rates have yet to slide to a low-risk level. Another expert, Professor Joe Marabahante of the UP COVID-19 Pandemic Response Team, says the decline in cases can possibly extend until next year.
We hope na tuloy-tuloy ito hanggang December or even in 2022, we hope na tuloy-tuloy ito. Although kailangan nating sabihin sa publiko na we can be optimistic pero cautiously optimistic.
The Justice Department and the Philippine National Police are now in talks to review thousands of other cases where drug suspects were killed in police operations. This comes amid calls from families of drug war victims for the DOJ to also revisit the deaths in around 6,000 other cases of alleged summary executions, which were not part of the DOJ's drug war review. Justice Secretary Menado Guevara says PNP Chief Guillermo Eleazar has committed to cooperate with the DOJ. Back in May, Eleazar told the ANC he was willing to open all the records to drug operations where killings took place, but that changed when the president himself said he will not allow it, citing national security concerns. Guevara said they would try to examine as many cases as they could, depending on their manpower and the extent of cooperation from the PNP. The first drug war review involving 300 cases took the DOJ a year, while the second batch of 52 cases took them months to finish. With only 8 months left in the Duterte administration, there are concerns the DOJ will not be able to finish its review. But Guevara is open to the possibility of conducting random sampling from all regions, saying patterns could still be observed. For Senator Francis Pangilinan, the 6,000 police operations are not even enough.
Kinakailangan palawigin pa at talagang alamin dahil ang estima ay mga mahigit 30,000 na ang di umano'y pinatay at nanlaban.
Data from the Commission on Human Rights show they received more than 3,700 cases of alleged extrajudicial killings from May 10, 2016 to October 22 this year. Of this number, more than 2,000 were deaths in police operations, while more than 1,500 cases involved unidentified assailants. These cases include assailants on board motorcycles, which the International Criminal Court also intends to look into, since the ICC prosecutor found evidence that Philippine police and authorities were allegedly behind vigilante killings. The ICC will also determine if there is a state policy of killing drug suspects under the Duterte administration. On Thursday, Duterte himself vowed to be answerable for the drug war killings as he poked fun at former PNP chief and now Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa.
Ay si Bato na nervyos kasi kasali siya doon sa tukhang niya. Pero huwag kang mag-alala. If there is any person who is going to prison, it would be me. But it should be a Filipino court manned by a Filipino judge and me prosecuted by a Filipino prosecutor.
But Bayan Muna Party List Representative Carlos Zarate warns police officers to come out and tell the truth. Duterte, he says, won't be able to protect them once he steps out of office because he will be too busy defending himself from charges in the ICC and in local courts.
This is a family that has raped the country. It has not apologized to the country, okay? And he now wants to rape the country again. Marcos.
It's not every day that you see politicians dropping the F-bomb on national TV. But for former Akbayan Congressman Walden Bello, the stakes are just too high in the 2022 elections to focus on niceties. Bello himself is running for vice president along with his presidential candidate, Labor leader Leody de Guzman. They are known within their circles, especially their track record in pushing for labor, economic, and political reforms. But just the same, they're nowhere near the popularity and money of other candidates.
I think people see us as genuine. Hindi ito mga politiko na tumatakbo ngayon kagaya ni Bongbong Marcos who's just out for himself. These guys are jokers, no? Especially the biggest joke of all is si Marcos.
Like many Filipinos, Bello has long been demanding accountability from the Marcoses for the thousands of human rights violations and the billions of dollars in ill-gotten wealth under the Marcos dictatorship. Yet now the late dictator's son wants to be president 50 years after his father declared martial law. Speaking on ANC's After the Fact, Bello also criticized other presidential candidates.
Isko Moreno is papogi-pogi lang yan. Si Ping Lacson, he was the top agent sa Senate ni President Duterte doon sa Anti-Terrorism Act. Opposition ba yan? I mean, come on.
Senator Lacson lashed back at Bello, saying he does not understand anything about legislation. Mayor Moreno has yet to give his reaction. Now, in the case of Senator Manny Pacquiao, Bello raised the issue of competence and work ethic.
Alam mo si Manny Pacquiao, Christian, co-chair ko yan sa Overseas Workers Affairs Committee sa Congress. No? For 5 years, sumipot lang yan sa isang meeting. Okay? At hindi niya alam kung anong gagawin niya. Can you trust a guy who doesn't show up for work for 5 years? No? You know, iniwan sa akin yung trabaho. Ano ba yung, anong klaseng tatakbo for president?
But in a statement, Pacquiao claimed he has extended assistance to numerous OFWs, such as Mary Jane Veloso in Indonesia, the family of Joanna de Mafelis, who was found in a freezer in Kuwait, and other OFWs in the Middle East. Bello and his running mate know the choice will ultimately be for the Filipino voters to make. In the meantime, voters are free to examine their campaign platform and see for themselves whether it really makes sense.
This is the future. Forget what you know about currency, commerce, investment. The age of Bitcoin is upon us. And now anyone, anywhere can turn cash into crypto with a coin flip ATM. Booyah.
With low fees and 24/7 support, CoinFlip makes crypto so flippin' easy. Go to coinflip.tech to find an ATM near you.
Via Times, vital news, vibrant views for the Filipino Asian communities in Chicago. Via Times for your most interesting and exciting reading and your party coverages. Via Times has very interesting columnists. You name it, Via Times has it. Law, Filipino news, dentistry, immigration, humor, serious opinions, health, beauty, mysticism, Bata Corner, showbiz, and intelligently written editorials. Call Via Times at 773-866-0811.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat and welcome to Veronica's segment of the show. Today, I have a very young, very pretty, she works for a very exciting company too, and she will be talking about it. She's helping a lot of people who needs help, who are in drugs problem, and her name is Anna Wise or Wiz. Is it Wiz? Okay. Anna is going to be talking about the company Above and Beyond Family Recovery Center. Family Recovery Center, and help us welcome Miss Anna Wiz. Welcome to our show, Cprtv show, and Anna, you're here today because we want to help or expose what is going on with what you do, and also to discuss about the gala event that's coming up. All right. First thing, Anna, what is Above and Beyond Family Recovery Center?
Above and Beyond Family Recovery Center is a nonprofit outpatient addiction treatment center in the West Side in Chicago. We're located in Garfield Park. And our whole mission is to provide cutting edge, wonderful addiction treatment and other services to folks who cannot afford addiction treatment. So usually when people can't afford the best treatment, they aren't given very good treatment at all, if any. So here at Above and Beyond, we want to fill that gap and provide the best treatment for free for folks who need it the most. A lot of our population is experiencing homelessness and food insecurity and poverty at various levels. And when you're fighting for your basic needs every day, I mean, it's how could you take care of yourself on the inside and your heart and your mind, right? So we want to make sure we provide all of those services for our population. And actually, very exciting, this year in 2021, we opened a very successful food pantry that's also located in the West Side of Chicago in Garfield Park. So we're trying our best to provide all of these services. And that's why we're also reaching out for community help to raise awareness and to donate and support us in our cause, because it really does take a village to help some of these folks. And, they are absolutely our mission. So we are putting our all into our mission.
So do you have a facility to house the clients that you have? It is some kind of a treatment center or hospital?
Yes, so we don't have on-site housing. However, we do have a housing department. So some of our folks can come in and work with our housing counselors and find placement in apartments, recovery homes, or whatever is safest, because our top priority is making sure our clients are safe, and safe environments breed healthy results, right? So that is our way of looking at it.
Around how many patients do you have currently?
Oh, so currently it fluctuates a little bit, but I can tell you that in 2020, we had 625 clients enrolled in our program. And that was very exciting because during the pandemic, most facilities or a lot of services all around, not just in addiction treatment, a lot of those services were closed due to the pandemic. And Above and Beyond can proudly say that we did not close for a single day. And that's because, the world was sort of upside down, but people still needed help and they still needed a safe place to come and to work on themselves and to work with us. So we didn't close at all.
The majority of your clients are drug dependent or alcohol dependent?
Yes.
Both?
Oh, it's a mix. Yes, it's a general mix.
I see. All right. And you have an upcoming gala. Is this gala that you're going to be having is more for a fundraising event?
Yes. So our gala is October 29th, and it's a hybrid event, which means there's an in-person event at the Drake Hotel, but also there's a virtual program. So if you can't make it to the in-person event, then you can watch the virtual program. In both of which we will be fundraising for our programming here, because all of our programming is free for our clients. But additionally, it's a great way to learn about Above and Beyond's story and our future plans. We're going to be giving you client testimonials, success stories, and wonderful glimpses into what's going on here, which is a truly special, special thing.
What is the name of the event?
The event is called Lifting Lives Up, and it is Lifting Lives Up. Mm-hmm.
All right, I like that name. Do you do this every year?
Yes, we do an annual gala every year. Last year's event was all virtual. In previous years, it was only in person. So we decided for 2021, an unprecedented time, we should do both an in-person and a virtual to accommodate for everyone's needs.
Who are the people that you invite to this event?
Well, it's open to the public. So anybody watching this, anybody who may be listening in from home, you're all welcome to participate. You can buy tickets for the actual event at the Drake, or you can join us for the virtual event. Virtual registration is free, and also you can donate to the event as well. So it's lots of options.
How much does it cost for personal invitation?
So our ticket pricing is actually broken down on our website. It sort of depends on what package you would like. So you're welcome to visit our website, anb.today, and you can see our ticket pricing, and that's just for the in-person event. But I will emphasize that our virtual event is completely free, and anybody can register in any state, any country. And we'd love to see you there. The free registration is to help, make this a global effort, a global community to support this grassroots campaign going on here in the West Side.
Are you a social worker?
I am not a social worker by profession, but basically everyone on staff, on our counseling and clinical staff here at Above and Beyond is a social worker or counselor or has degrees in psychology or something equivalent. We have art therapists as well.
And still, you love your job, right?
I love my job. I love it here. There's so much warm energy. Everybody makes you feel like you're at home. And that's intentional because the environment that some of our folks, some of our client population are facing day to day can be, very difficult. They're facing very difficult things. So we intentionally make Above and Beyond the warmest, safest, most comfortable space for clients and staff alike, honestly.
What is the most important or special thing that you love about your job?
Oh, that is a great question. I think that the most special thing that I love about my job is meeting our clients. Our clients they are the most courageous souls. They are brave. They are so wonderful. And to hear their stories and to connect with them is an honor for me, and it's motivating for me every day when I come in and I work on projects for the gala, for example, or other projects. I think this is in service of our clients to support them. And they give me enough personal growth every day. I don't know how I can ever repay them. So that's where my motivation comes from.
Terrific. All right. Have you said everything for our audience about what you do and about the company Above and Beyond? I like that name, Above and Beyond.
Anybody watching from home, if they send a text message to the number 41444 and they type ANB 2021, they send that message, then you can instantly donate, sign up for virtual registration, sign up for in-person registration for our gala. It's an instant way to support a wonderful effort that's going on in the West Side to lift up lives. So I'll also send you that information as well, but texting 41444 to ANB 2021, that's the keyword.
Terrific, Anna. Now we learned something today about Above and Beyond. And for those who are watching, and you yourself or any of your friends or family would need the assistance of the Above and Beyond, please, like what Anna said, don't hesitate to call them or get in touch with any of them. All right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I thank you for gracing our show today. Maraming salamat. That's thank you very much in our language for appearing on our show today. And I hope you have a good day. And anytime you would need our help, just give us a call. I really appreciate your appearance today on our show. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Veronica.
It's more fun in the Philippines.
Yan! Dito na! Perfect!
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat and welcome to Veronica's segment of the show. Today, I have three very interesting gentlemen from all over, I think one is from an international country. Is that right? Okay. And
we have Philippines, Australia, and New Zealand, and then Miami.
All right. Very good. First thing, let me help welcome Mr. Brad Baldia. Did I say it right? Baldia.
Yes.
And Brad, I'm really honored to have you here in our show. Brad is the executive director of the Foundation of Filipino American Chambers of Commerce, and that's a national organization of chambers of commerce. Will you please tell us briefly what this federation or FPACC mission and I know it is a big organization as it is a national organization. As a matter of fact, I attended the convention one time. I think it was 2018 to 2019.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
In Arizona. All right. Brad, please tell us briefly about this federation.
Sure. So we are 25 years old. We have over 38 chambers and rapidly growing. we represent the business community of the 4.3 million Filipinos and 12 million Filipinos globally, right? So we have chambers now in Australia and New Zealand. We are expanding to Dubai, to Canada. We have a Mexican chamber, and it's exciting because our major goal is to how are we supporting Filipino small businesses and entrepreneurs and facilitating international trade. So how are we helping U.S. companies to go to the Philippines and vice versa? And we're helping a lot of people. This is about creating jobs, supporting families, and really, how can we best help all of our communities in, being sustainable and being, being successful.
You are here in Chicago today. What is your mission in coming here?
Sure. So I have two very distinguished guests with me, and this is part of FPAC's SAM SFIO Business Educational Tour Roadshow. So within 10 days, we're visiting 5 cities, and we launched on the 15th in Los Angeles. We then went to Phoenix. Now we're in Chicago. We're then going to Miami this Friday, and then we'll end in New York City. So the goal is first and foremost business education. And we have Coach Jonathan from New Zealand, the Global Academy, and the CEO of SAM, which is Smart Asset Managers, is coming from New Zealand. And they're both Filipino companies coming into a US market. And I couldn't be happier to share with you, and they'll tell you more about how we're going to be able to really help more Filipinos, and especially as it relates to business.
Okay, so you're having some kind of outreach today at a place here in Chicago for dinner.
That's right.
Yes.
We're Filipinos, so it has to be around food, right? So we're at Tita Mia's tonight from 6 to 9 p.m. And so Coach Jonathan will be doing his business educational session, and we're going to learn about SAM and what's happening in terms of the Philippines, and what the exciting part of how can they get involved.
Great, terrific. I like that mission. Okay. Maybe we can hear this time from Romel Santos. Hi, Romel. Can you introduce yourself to our viewing audience?
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Veronica. Thank you for having us here. My name is Romel Santos. I'm the founding chairman of SAM Digital Technologies. We are a digital platform, and we are regulated and registered in the countries of Australia and in the Philippines through the Securities and Exchange Commission in the Philippines, endorsed by the Philippine Central Bank. So our mission today is not about selling any products, but we're doing the roadshow into educating our Filipino kababayans and all of our other friends from different ethnic groups of trying to get into or adapt into the digital economy and being a digital entrepreneur. So I'm traveling with Coach Jonathan from the Global Academy in New Zealand. And we are promoting SFIO, which is Starfleet Innotech, which is a U.S. stock exchange publicly listed company in the OTC market. So we hope to see you all tonight at the Tita Mia's Bistro or restaurants here in Chicago. And yes, start learning to become a digital entrepreneur. Thank you, Madam Veronica.
Thank you so much, Romel. One question. Are there many Filipino business people in New Zealand and Australia?
Yes, there is a lot of Filipino entrepreneurs, both in New Zealand and in Australia.
Wow, that's nice to know. And that's why you started this digital. What is this?
A digital platform.
Digital platform to teach. I can be one to learn about this. I'm still bad in this technologies that I'm doing these days.
Correct.
I can learn. I can learn. Okay, and help me welcome Jonathan. Coach Jonathan, you're a coach.
Yes, madam.
And
Yeah,
what's
so
your last name, Jonathan?
yeah, my last name is Petalver, Ma'am Veronica, Petalver. Coach Jonathan Petalver. Yeah, Petalver's from Bani, Pangasinan in the Philippines.
All right, very good. Okay, please explain further what you do,
Okay.
Jonathan.
Okay, so yeah, magandang umaga po sa lahat ng ating mga kababayan dito sa Amerika, especially here in Chicago. Thank you so much for welcoming us, and of course, I'd like to thank the Federation of the Philippine American Chamber of Commerce, headed by Chad Baldia, and of course, together with Romel Santos from Australia. So, I'm Coach Jonathan. So, I flew all the way from Manila, Philippines last week, and basically, what I do is I do executive coaching back in the Philippines. And for the past few months, remember what happened with COVID-19. And of course, for sure, some of us, if not all of us, especially if you're doing business or you are thinking about business, you have to think about, the present situation right now for us to be successful. So our mission here in the US is to share to our global Filipinos, our global kababayans, on how they can thrive and even stay ahead amidst this pandemic. Because Rommel and I, for sure, we are a testimony of, even beyond this pandemic, we can really excel if we only know a basic structure or framework in doing our business. Maybe some of you are already in business or planning to have a business. We would like to invite you tonight to gear up, because that's the title of our program, Gear Up and Become a Digital Entrepreneur. Because the only way, Miss Veronica, and to all those listening right now, for us to thrive and stay ahead in this new digital economy is to pivot and transform ourselves to become a digital version of ourselves. Just like you, Miss Veronica, right? If you have a business, you have to you have to make your product digital. You have to make your business process digital, and most especially, you have to have a very powerful digital platform. Just imagine if we are broadcasted right now, right? If there will be a million, audience listening, and we are talking about this, learning from us, we learn from them. Just imagine the powerful tool right now of this digital platform. So this
Streaming,
is
right?
our mission. Yes.
Is that
Yes, ma'am.
what you call streaming? I've heard about
Correct.
that. And
Correct.
yeah, that. Oh, but you guys are from out of the country or out of town. But how how can you propose to have a hands-on education for the entrepreneurs from other areas?
Correct. Just like what we did with the Global Academy New Zealand, we have come up since last year a learning management system, or an LMS, wherein they can access the learning through all their gadgets like laptops or cell phones or iPads. All they have to do is subscribe and enroll into the system, and then they have a year to access it and learn how to brand themselves digitally, learn, let's say, if this is basic foundational marketing, sales, customer management. So basically, it's like a masterclass or an MBA for entrepreneurship for them, which they can access online. And then before they attend the school every week, like this, Miss Veronica, like a broadcast or StreamYard. So we have a weekly class, like a 30-45 minute coaching, and then a week's practice again of what has been taught, and then go back again for a week. So we have like the whole year to study. You have a whole year to study using the digital platform. But good thing about here in the US, we can do face to face. It's like what we've done with LA and Phoenix, Arizona. We're so excited because I believe Chicago will be a different audience, right, Brad?
Is there a hope for a dumb tech like me?
Oh.
Anyone can learn. There isn't.
Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely,
anyone
Miss
can learn.
Veronica. That's why there are three things that we would like to emphasize in our lecture. The fundamental framework is identifying a product or service that you want to digitalize. Number two, okay, strengthening and aligning your digital process, how you are going to do your marketing, sales, everything online, operations, payment gateways, and all. And of course, number three is you must have a digital platform to reach your audience. So going back to your question, can an 80-year-old or 90-year-old still learn this? Definitely yes. That's why we want you to gear up, no, and come join the ride with us as we, intend to do this digital entrepreneurship program. We have just started. We have just started, guys. Remember with what pandemic did us, we are now on a disruptive economy. So it's either you join or you will be part of the brain drain that has been happening, and we're here to help you, and we're here to coach you, and we're doing this around the globe, anywhere, anytime, at your own convenience.
You know what? Listening to you, this sounds like a big world wonder for the entrepreneurs, and
Correct.
it sounds so exciting. And I look forward to talking to you personally, guys.
Yes, ma'am.
And well, all right. Really, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for gracing our show today. And one last goodbye to our viewing audience. You first, Brad.
Sure. Thank you, Miss Veronica. It's really a pleasure to be on your show and to really help promote something that we feel that the Filipino community can benefit from. This is about helping one another, providing tools that will create jobs and really provide an amazing business opportunity that will help a lot of people. And so we're excited to meet the Filipino community here in Chicago. We're going to be doing some sightseeing today. So we're excited about that. But thank you so much.
Thank you too. And you, Rommel?
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Veronica, for having us to your show here and being able to basically promote our road tour. And Mr. Brad with me and Coach Jonathan with us here. Where I'm hoping that we could share a lot of valuable insights into becoming a digital entrepreneur. So we are here to connect all businesses into one platform. We are here to deliver the services, and we are here to help everyone understand the world of digital entrepreneurship. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Rommel.
Yeah,
And
thank you. Yeah, thank you, Miss Veronica, and to all those watching or listening right now. Maraming salamat po. And sana makita po namin kayo mamayang gabi, no? And whether you are in business already, starting up a business, or planning to start a business, we hope you'll find time tonight to listen to us so that we can help you align and coach you strategically on how you can stay ahead and thrive in this new digital economy. Maraming salamat po, and see you in class.
all right, guys, I'm really excited to see you tonight. And maraming salamat sa inyong pag-appear sa aking program. Brad, Rommel, and Jonathan. I salute you guys for what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
We would like to welcome all of you to Balletner Jewellery. We have a very big selection of 21 karat gold jewelry imported from the Middle East, from Dubai, Saudi, and Bahrain. And we have a very big selection of diamond. We offer free financing for 6 months, and we have a layaway system which you can leave your stuff for 3 months. We repair gold and we buy old gold. Welcome to Balletner Jewellery.
Salamat po.
Good afternoon. This is Bridget Carino-Quetter bringing you this week's local news from our community.
Illinois Environmental Protection Agency Director John J. Kim announced the Low-Income Residential Energy Efficient Grant opportunity with up to $2 million in funding available for energy efficiency upgrades at low-income single or multifamily residential properties. A Notice of Funding Opportunity, NOFO, has been posted to the Illinois EPA's Office of Energy webpage. Illinois EPA is pleased to offer this initial funding opportunity to benefit areas served by municipal utilities and electric cooperatives, said Director Kim. Though these investments, we hope to conserve energy, lower utility bills, increase resident comfort, and improve building performance and environmental justice in high energy burden communities. Eligible applicants include public housing authorities, units of local government, municipalities, counties or townships, or nonprofit organizations. Low-income single or multi-family properties eligible for funding must be a customer of a municipally owned electric utility or an electric cooperative. Total project costs may range from $25,000 to $500,000 with a match requirement subject to total funding request. If you hate garlic and mirrors, you can thank Lawn Love for ranking 2021's best cities for vampires this Halloween. They looked for cities with plenty of warm bodies, blood centers, and homes on the market with basements. They also searched for cities with other vampire-welcoming qualities like many cloudy days, few churches, and no garlic festivals. Yes, this ranking is tongue-in-cheek, or rather teeth-and-neck, for the most part, but there's a serious side too. The U.S. is in the midst of a national blood shortage. This is bad news for vampires, of course, but it's good news for you because you can make a difference by donating blood and saving lives. Attorney General Kwame Raoul, as part of a coalition of 20 attorneys general, took action to protect transgender students' rights by filing an amicus brief opposing efforts to bar transgender students from participating in gender-segregated school sports. Transgender teenagers have the right to participate in school activities, including sports, free of discrimination and consistent with their gender identity, Raoul said. I urge the court to reject efforts to bar transgender students from participating in gender-segregated sports, and I will continue to fight these unjust laws and policies and work to protect the rights of transgender individuals. In an amicus brief filed in Soul v. Connecticut Association of Schools in the U.S., Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit, Raoul and the coalition argue that the court should reject a lawsuit brought by 4 cisgender students who claimed that the participation of transgender students in gender-segregated sports violates the rights of cisgender girls. The Illinois Department of Labor, IDOL, is joining the Illinois Occupational Safety and Health Administration as well as federal OSHA for a social media campaign aimed at keeping teen workers safe. The campaign, themed Keeping Teen Workers Safe is Everyone's Job, is a 3-week effort starting October 18th to highlight workplace safety for teenagers who will enter the workforce over the upcoming holiday season. Laws are in place to protect the health and safety of young people while they are on the job. This campaign is another opportunity to share the message with employers, parents, and teachers that teenage workers are afforded the same rights as anyone else on the job: a safe workplace, job safety training, necessary safety equipment, and speaking up without fear of reprisal, said Illinois Department of Labor Director Michael Kleinig. The U.S. Department of Labor reports that approximately every 5 minutes, a teenager aged 15 to 19 goes to the emergency room for a work-related injury. America's billionaires have grown $2.1 trillion richer during the pandemic, their collective fortunes skyrocketing by 70%, from just short of $3 trillion at the start of the COVID crisis on March 18, 2020. to over $5 trillion on October 15th this year, according to Forbes data analyzed by Americans for Tax Fairness, ATF, and the Institute for Policy Studies Program on Inequality. Not only did the wealth of the U.S. billionaires grow, but so did their numbers. In March of last year, there were 614 with 10-figure bank accounts. This October, there are 745. The $5 trillion in wealth now held by 745 billionaires is two-thirds more than the $3 trillion in wealth held by the bottom 50% of U.S. households estimated by the Federal Reserve Board. The great good fortune of these billionaires over the past 19 months is all the more stark when contrasted with the devastating impact of coronavirus on working people. Almost 89 million Americans have lost jobs, over 44.9 million have been sickened by the virus, and over 724,000 have died from it. To put this extraordinary wealth growth in perspective, the $2.1 trillion gained over 19 months by U.S. billionaires is equal to 60% of the $3.5 trillion 10-year cost of President Biden's Build Back Better plan. The entire $2.1 trillion in new revenues over 10 years, approved by the House Ways and Means Committee to help pay for President Biden's Build Back Better BBB investment plan. That's all for today. Thank you for watching our news this week. This is Bridget. See you next time.
It's more fun in the Philippines.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. This is Melody Dizon, your Health Matters host. How are you guys? I've missed you. I haven't had a recording in a while just because life got crazy. But here I am back again, so I hope you guys are all in the pink of health. So today we will be talking about booster shots for COVID. So if you know, people nowadays are talking about, are they going to have the third booster shot or are they going to not have it? So, but before I go any further, I wanted to explore about antibody testing or antibody result before getting the third one. Because I was really thinking about this, you know, if you don't really need it, why get one if you have the immunity to it? So, but this is what the doctors are advising to vaccinated people and wondering whether their shot was held up, it's still there, you know, the immunity, or was it just curiosity from maybe last month's cold? Was that a cold or was it a virus or whatnot? Then who should get the antibody testing then for COVID-19? Well, more than, where are we now? A year and a half, I guess, into the COVID-19 pandemic with 3 vaccines available in the US. Seems like everyone knows or has heard at least someone who has been vaccinated and diagnosed with the virus thereafter. So it should come as no surprise that many people are wondering whether their shot is still doing its job. So enter the SARS-2 antibody blood test that can detect the infection-fighting proteins that linger after your immune system beats COVID-19 or revs up in the what they call a response to the vaccination. But can these tests actually gauge whether you have COVID-19 immunity? That's the question. Well, it turns out that antibody tests are definitely not recommended to determine whether you're protected from COVID-19, according to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. And experts agree and don't see the great value in these commercial tests prescribed for other reasons as well. Also known as serology tests, you know, antibody tests which requires a doctor's prescription are blood tests that detects the presence of SARS-CoV-2 antibodies in the bloodstream. As we all know, antibodies are protein molecules produced by the immune system when your body fights off a pathogen or undergoes vaccination to help defend your body from the said pathogen the next time you're exposed to it, and can also help reduce the severity of symptoms in the case of reinfection. Antibody tests are typically used to screen for evidence of past infection or preparedness to fight off a specific virus. That would then tell us the varying degrees of accuracy. So yeah, that was lingering in my mind. So, you know, if people had the antibody test, do they really still need it if they came up positive? The third vaccination, I mean. So question is, who then should get the antibody test to see if you've had COVID-19? Well, in theory, testing positive for spike protein antibodies should mean that your vaccine is working, and a positive antibody test should confirm that you've had the COVID-19. But there's a big but. The jury is out on how many antibodies you need for immunity and how long that immunity might last, according to the FDA. So what's more is that we don't know whether antibodies protect against the various COVID-19 strains in circulation. So they're saying there's not really much value in testing for antibodies. The majority of infectious disease providers agree that one should never do a test unless one knows what they're going to do with it if you have a positive or a negative result. In the case of antibody testing, the results cannot be interpreted, which is why they do not recommend it at all. So if there's one thing literally every expert and governing body agrees on, it's that antibody presence should not take the place of vaccination or boosters among those who are eligible. Not only that it takes 2 to 3 weeks after infection to detect the virus antibodies, these tests then are not your best bet for diagnosing COVID-19 on the spot, according to CDC. And that's not the only reason why you shouldn't rely on an antibody test to tell whether you have had COVID-19, that the blood tests are prone to false negatives among those who have not had any antibodies yet false positives among those who've been exposed to the coronavirus besides COVID-19. Yeah, because there's a lot of coronaviruses out there. So antibody testing is not currently recommended to assess for immunity for COVID-19 following vaccination, which notes that these diagnostic tools have variable sensitivity, specificity, positivity, and negativity predictive values. So in other words, they just don't tell you much what you have. You know, it's not especially accurate in assessing protection from COVID-19. So it should go without saying that you shouldn't get an antibody test to assess your need to get the second shot or third shot for your vaccine series. Just get them, you know, because these tests don't definitely tell you if you've had, you could have, you could get, or you could spread COVID-19. And because a positive test could give you a false sense of security. So experts generally recommend against COVID-19 tests in all circumstances outside of research laboratories. However, if your healthcare provider wants to know whether you've been infected with COVID-19, it may be helpful, but take the results with a grain of salt and without plans on acting on them, because antibody positive is not a substitute for vaccination. That's right. So now you know, guys, as well, that there is now talks about the mixing and matching the COVID boosters. You can jump from one booster to the other booster. So question is, which one should you get? Well, if you've been fully vaccinated against COVID-19, is it okay to switch to different manufacturer's product? FDA says it's yes, you can certainly do that. Under a newly announced mix and match strategy, people who got Pfizer, Moderna, and J&J vaccine may switch to another brand's booster. So after reviewing available data, FDA said that knowing the potential benefits of using a single mix and match or heterologous booster dose outweigh the known and potential risks in people eligible for boosters. So mixing vaccines has a couple of advantages. From a practical standpoint, it says the ability to switch from one manufacturer's vaccine to another gives Americans more flexibility when they go to the doctor's office or pharmacy for a booster shot. A recent study examined real-world data from mid-March through mid-August on COVID vaccine effectiveness. The two-dose Moderna and Pfizer remains saying they're getting up to 93% and 80% effective against COVID hospitalization, and with the J&J, a level of protection at 71%. And again, these are preliminary findings indicating that mixing and matching, regardless of the combination of vaccines and boosters, increase antibody levels. So of particular note, though, were the results of J&J vaccine recipients switching to a Pfizer booster resulted in a 35-fold increase in antibodies. but or as well as the Moderna, when they've had that switching booster shots, people got a 76-fold rise in their antibodies. But the study has limitations, including small size, short follow-up period, and which may really not capture the rare side effects. So, which booster should you use? Well, you should get whatever booster you can get, basically, because rest assured that any vaccination that's out there is highly protective against severe disease and hospitalization. So anyway, folks, I hope I've given you an insight to what's on the news, to what's been spread around, what they're talking about, and could help you decide and what you're gonna do with your situation. I do respect people for maybe not wanting to have the shot for whatever personal, religious, or just any cultural reasoning that they may have, because we're all different. But for those people who are still skeptic, there's really nothing I could do about that, basically. So it is your own choice, but let's just make our choices what's best for everybody. So, and that means for you. So I give you with that decision. So again, folks, this is Melody Dizon, your Health Matters host. I will see you again next week. Thank you so much.